friends, Kris here Through the Prism of Chrism. Step into my office. We're teaching this week a powerful new series on the numbers of the Bible. And we're calling it the Book of Numbers because this Bible is a book full of numbers. We're trying to learn the significance and symbolism of some of the base numbers of the Bible. Now, yesterday we talked about 1. Today we're moving on to 2. So a 1 and a 2. And think about that number 1. Paul said, this one thing I do, not these 50 things I dabble in. In other words, this number, along with what we looked at yesterday, speaks of focus and concentration. Something has to be number 1. And we learned yesterday that you need to meet the one true God. Now listen, God is alone. He stands by himself, but he wants fellowship. So we come to the number 2, which speaks of fellowship. You know, the animals came into the ark, how? 2 by 2. Jesus sent his disciples out, how? 2 by 2. He wanted them to have fellowship, moral support, and accountability with each other. So it speaks of fellowship. It also speaks of agreement. Amos 3:3 says, can 2 walk together except they be agreed? Well, when we have agreement, powerful things happen. Matthew 18:19, if any 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. The power of 2. You know, in Mark, it uses the word twain. Mark uses twain. Mark twain. I couldn't help that. Listen to Mark 10 and verse 8. It says, they twain shall be one flesh. So mark that down. Underscore twain. Mark twain. Ecclesiastes 4:9 says 2 are better than 1. Think about that. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. So it speaks of fellowship and agreement. Third, it speaks of division or separation. On the second day of creation, God divided the land from the sky and the waters under the firmament from the waters above the firmament. It means that when we come to Christ, we have to be able to make distinctions. There's the sheep, there's the goats, there's the old nature, the new nature, the old man, the new nature, the new man. There is the straight and narrow way, there's the broad and wide way that leads to destruction, and you need to be able to make distinctions. There is an Old Testament, there is a New Testament. There's distinctions, but there's also agreement in that, and there's another Mark verse that uses the word twain. Mark 15 verse 38, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. Calvary divides things. You need to understand that, and that's in Mark, so mark it down, underscore it, mark the word twain. Mark twain, okay. And then the next thing, this word 2, or this number 2, suggests choice. You have to make a choice between 2. The old you, the new you, sin, righteousness, heaven, hell. These are important choices. Joshua 24 and verse 15, choose this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You know the old commercial, the peanut butter commercial said, choosy mothers choose Jif. Well, actually, choosy mothers choose Jesus. Mom, Dad, have you made that choice? 1 Kings 18 and 21, Elijah said to the false prophets and the people standing by, how long halt ye between 2 opinions? He said, if the Lord is God, choose him. If Baal's God, then choose him. But you have to get off the fence line and make a choice for God. And then another thing, maybe the number 5 or whatever we're on, this number 2 speaks of coupling, or it speaks of coupled strength. Now listen, if I take my wife Deb by the hands and we agree in prayer, we have just coupled and compounded our strength. 2 are better than 1, and that's a double-barrel shotgun. And listen, by myself, Jesus said we can do nothing. But if you couple and team up with him, then what happens? Luke 1 and verse 37, with God nothing shall be impossible. In other words, 2 of you coming together compounds effectiveness. Jesus took the 5 loaves, that speaks of the fivefold ministry, and 2 fishes and broke them and fed the multitudes. In other words, those 2 speak of the unity of believers coming together in agreement and coupling your effectiveness together. Now, tomorrow we're looking at the number 3. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, and we're moving to a great number tomorrow that you need to learn. Share this with a friend. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. This is Kris with Through the Prism of Chrism.